It's been an action-packed period in the world of Formula One, with 5 Grand Prix events taking us from the sunny streets of Miami to the rolling hills of Barcelona. We'll review all the drama, rivalries and controversies that have unfolded on the track over the last 5 race weekends. From shocking race results that shook up the drivers' standings, intense battles between teammates vying for dominance, and 4 different pole sitters in 4 weeks, this month had it all. We'll bring you the best moments. But first, let's set the scene by recapping where the championship battles stood heading into this crucial stretch of races. The rivalry between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris was coming into full effect after McLaren upgrades were starting to show potential. But it was Sergio Perez on 103 points, just behind Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship with 33 points separating them, closely followed by Charles Leclerc on 98 points. Since then, we've seen Norris get his maiden victory in F1, Perez struggle to find form, Leclerc win his elusive home Grand Prix, and Mercedes make strides back toward the top. Let's start with a spectacular turnaround that was a special win for not just McLaren and Norris, but Formula One as a whole. At the Miami International Autodrome, Lando Norris won his first ever Formula One race in style, cruising to victory over the championship leader and his good friend, Max Verstappen. From a disheartening 17th in this race last year to a thrilling first place this season, Norris's victory isn't just about crossing the finish line, but crossing into a new era of McLaren's racing prowess. His fist raised in triumph, signalling McLaren is here to challenge the status quo. So what's behind this big shift in performance? The MCL38 has been outfitted with an ambitious upgrade package, focusing heavily on aerodynamics and car setup. With a new floor and side pods integrated, these are designed to slice through the air more efficiently, reducing drag and enhancing downforce. This strategic upgrade gave the car a significant step towards the Red Bull's pace, setting the stage for what's to come in future races. During the initial practice sessions, hearts raced as the MCL38 only managed a 16th place. However, by race day, the narrative had flipped. McLaren's ability to refine and optimize the car's settings overnight underscores a team that's not just reacting but anticipating, learning quickly from every lap, and leveraging every bit of data to edge out the competition. Looking ahead, the circuits lining up in the F1 calendar could play even more into the strengths of the updated MCL38. While Miami was a testbed, other tracks with their unique demands on aerodynamics and speed will be the true battlegrounds. The engineering insights and data harvested from Miami are now a blueprint for upcoming races, where McLaren might have the edge on circuits that demand what the MCL38 can now deliver more efficiently. And what does this mean for the Constructors' Championship? Currently sitting third, McLaren is pushing to leap Ferrari. With each race, they are narrowing the gap to the frontrunners, bringing a mix of tactical brilliance and technical evolution that could help them catch Ferrari and perhaps even Red Bull. As we wrap up today's analysis, one thing is clear. The F1 landscape is witnessing a transformation, and McLaren is at the heart of it. With strategic upgrades and a team that's rapidly adapting to the evolving demands of the sport, McLaren is pushing to make big moves this season, so keep your eyes on the track and your expectations high. The race is back on. Adrian Newey's career in Formula One has been nothing short of spectacular, with an impressive 7 years at Williams, 8 at McLaren, 19 at Red Bull, and a tally that includes 13 drivers and 12 constructors' titles across the 3 different teams. His influence on the sport is profound. Since his arrival at Red Bull, the team has seen an era of dominance, clinching multiple championships and over 100 Grand Prix victories. But as we come to the end of this significant chapter, the question on everyone's mind is, what's next for Newey? One of the most tantalizing prospects is Ferrari, a team synonymous with F1's rich history and prestige. Newey joining forces with Ferrari, potentially alongside Lewis Hamilton, could be the biggest story of 2025. The combination of Newey's design prowess and Hamilton's driving expertise may be just what Ferrari needs to end their championship drought. This isn't just idle speculation. Many inside the paddock see this as a fitting next step, one that could lead to a historic championship win, providing a fairy tale ending to 2 illustrious careers. But for those of you who appreciate a good story of revival, how about a return to Williams? It's where Newey first made his mark in Formula One. With Williams currently rebuilding under the leadership of James Vowles, Newey's return could catalyse a return to the front of the grid, reviving the glory days. It's a narrative full of nostalgia, but also a plausible strategy for success, considering Newey's ability to transform teams. Then there's Aston Martin. Under the ambitious leadership of Lawrence Stroll, Aston Martin has been rapidly transforming their facilities and team to match the top players of F1. Newey has previous experience with Aston Martin through their Valkyrie road car project, which could make this a seamless transition. With Stroll's drive and Newey's technical acumen, Aston Martin could very well become the new powerhouse in Formula One. While Ferrari, Williams and Aston Martin make compelling cases, we can't discount other teams like McLaren, Alpine or Haas. Any team would leap at the chance to add Newey's expertise to their roster, especially with significant regulatory changes on the horizon in 2026. Newey's knack for innovation could be just what these teams need to disrupt the established order at the top of the sport. And then there's the wildcard option, retirement. Newey has hinted at a desire to sail the world with his wife, Amanda. After decades of high-pressure environments and relentless competition, stepping away to a life of exploration might be an alluring choice. But knowing Newey's passion and ongoing curiosity for engineering and design, retirement could just be another chapter of innovation, albeit in a different setting. Wherever Adrian Newey goes next, his legacy in Formula One is secure. His designs have changed the face of the sport and his genius has inspired countless others. As 2025 approaches, all eyes will indeed be on this titan of motorsport to see where he applies his formidable skills next. Let's start at the beginning, not in Formula One, but at Nürburgring in 1984. In a race designed to showcase Mercedes' new saloon, Senna, a fresh face amidst seasoned champions, dominated the track, taking P1 and cementing his name in the racing world. Winning this race was a masterclass in precision and racing intelligence, announcing Senna's arrival on the global stage. Our next moment takes us to a rain-soaked Monaco in 1984. Here, Senna's genius in adverse conditions shone brightly as he piloted his Toleman from 13th to an astounding second place. On a track where overtaking is notoriously hard, this race was a statement, still in just his first year on the scene. Testament to his unmatched skill, particularly in wet weather, a prowess that would become a hallmark of his career. 4 years later, at the same storied circuit and in his first year with McLaren, Senna dominated qualifying like never before. His pole position was more than just a lap. It was a symphony of man and machine. Out-qualifying his teammate by 1.4 seconds, after the session, he described the experience as transcendent, saying, "Suddenly I realized that I was no longer driving the car consciously. I was driving it by a kind of instinct." 1988 was a year of dominance for McLaren, and Senna was at the heart of it. The penultimate race at Suzuka defined his first championship win. Overcoming a stalled start in pouring rain, he showcased why he was the master of wet races, charging from the back to clinch the victory and his first world title. Moving on to 1990, in an interview with Sir Jackie Stewart, Senna articulated his racing philosophy, confronting criticism about his aggressive driving style. His response? A candid insight into the mindset that drove him to push the boundaries of racing, revealing the depth of his commitment to victory. Perhaps no victory was as sweet or as challenging as the Brazilian Grand Prix in 1991. At his home track, Senna faced a gearbox that locked him into 6th gear, yet he held on, winning in front of his home crowd. The physical and emotional toll was evident as he crossed the finish line, a moment of pure triumph etched in the annals of Formula One. In 1992, against the technically superior Williams, Senna's defensive skills were on full display at Monaco. Keeping Nigel Mansell at bay, he used every trick in his vast repertoire to secure the victory. This was a masterclass in defensive driving, demonstrating his strategic brilliance and his relentless will to maintain the lead. Our final moment brings us to Australia in 1993, for what would be Senna's last race victory. Here he once again bested Prost, his great rival. It was a fitting end to his tenure at McLaren, a race that encapsulated his competitive spirit, his relentless pursuit of excellence, and his profound impact on Formula One. Mercedes is at a crucial juncture, hunting for a worthy successor to Hamilton. While there have been flirtations with Max Verstappen and considerations for Carlos Sainz, Hamilton's bold backing of the rookie Kimi Antonelli presents a fascinating strategic shift. Historically, Mercedes has favoured experienced drivers, making this potential decision all the more intriguing. Kimi Antonelli, who turns 18 this August, has been making waves with his impressive testing sessions in Mercedes' 2021 and 2022 machinery. Recent tests in Austria have shown his potential and adaptability, indicating he could be ready to step up to the highest level sooner than expected. These sessions are part of an extensive evaluation by Mercedes to gauge if Antonelli can fill Hamilton's seat. Antonelli's journey in Formula 2 has been up and down. Skipping Formula 3 entirely, he jumped straight into F2 with Prima, facing a steep learning curve. Despite his relative inexperience and Prima not in their best form, Antonelli has held his own, currently ranking 9th after 3 weekends. His 4th-place finish in Australia's sprint race is a testament to his growing talent and the potential Mercedes sees in him. Toto Wolff has been methodical in nurturing young talent. Wolff's strategy mirrors the successful development of George Russell, who was loaned to Williams before returning to Mercedes as a mature and well-rounded driver. With the 2026 regulation changes on the horizon, Mercedes aims for stability and continuity, making the decision to potentially back Antonelli a calculated one. Let's place Antonelli's potential promotion within the broader context of the F1 driver market. The driver market is buzzing with activity. Alex Albon has committed to Williams, while Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz have their futures up in the air. The endorsement of Antonelli by Hamilton puts him at the forefront of this dynamic market. This move could signify Mercedes' shift towards investing in young talent, especially as the team might not have championship-winning expectations until the major reset in 2026. Kevin Magnussen is currently at the centre of attention for the F1 stewards. He's just 2 super license penalty points away from a full race ban. Over the first 6 races of the 2024 season, Magnussen has managed to accumulate 10 points, and with the threshold at 12 points, he's on thin ice. The situation reached a critical juncture during the Miami Grand Prix, where a collision with Logan Sargent triggered a race-altering safety car. This incident not only disrupted the flow of the race, but also aided Lando Norris in securing his maiden F1 victory. The race stewards were unequivocal in their judgment, assigning Magnussen a 10-second penalty and 2 additional penalty points, thus bringing his total perilously close to the 12-point limit that triggers a race ban. Magnussen's perspective on the penalty point system is quite clear. He believes it needs reform. He voiced his concerns by saying, "The fact that I'm at risk of a race ban for driving outside of some white lines on a piece of tarmac, I don't know if I feel that that is right." He acknowledges the rules as they stand, but argues that with an expanded race calendar, even minor infractions can lead to severe consequences, potentially necessitating a review of the system. Contrastingly, George Russell supports the stringent measures in place. He highlights the importance of maintaining discipline on the track, noting the rarity of race bans compared to the frequency of red cards in football. Russell stated, "Maybe a race ban is a bit harsh, but things shouldn't go unpunished." He believes that while race bans are severe, they are essential in preventing drivers from committing unpunished infractions, thereby ensuring safety and fairness in the sport. The Monaco Grand Prix is one of the most prestigious races on the Formula One calendar. However, this year's event proved disastrous for Esteban Ocon. On the first lap, Ocon attempted a risky overtake on his teammate Pierre Gasly. This maneuver led to a collision that nearly flipped Ocon's car and damaged Gasly's. Alpine's team principal, Bruno Famin, was quick to express his disapproval, describing Ocon's move as an attack on Gasly. The incident not only cost Alpine valuable points, but also raised questions about tensions within the team. Famin's reaction was understandable. He warned that there would be consequences for Ocon, a statement that has now left many speculating about the French driver's future. Gasly's frustration was evident as he vented over the team radio, further emphasising the discord. The aftermath of this incident has resurfaced old memories of clashes with former teammates, leaving everyone questioning Ocon's place in the team and casting shadows over potentially his entire career. Renowned F1 pundit Martin Brundle didn't hold back in his criticism of Ocon. He noted that Ocon's irrational red mist when racing against teammates has been a recurring issue. Brundle's assessment is harsh but reflects the sentiments of many in the F1 community. His inability to maintain harmonious relationships with his teammates is seen as a major flaw, one that could jeopardise his future in the sport. The immediate consequence of his actions in Monaco could be severe. There is speculation that Alpine might bench him for the upcoming Canadian Grand Prix, a rare but possible punishment in Formula One. Such a decision would not only impact Ocon's standing within the team, but also his prospects in the driver market. With his contract set to expire at the end of the year, Ocon's aggressive tactics not only risk his position at Alpine, but also his appeal to other teams. His management by Mercedes and his status as a Mercedes junior suggest potential opportunities, but no front-running team would tolerate his current approach. Although he is a candidate for seats at Mercedes, Haas and the new Audi F1 project, we will have to see if this turns prospective employers away. In Friday practice, Mercedes had an average session, but so did everyone, with lots of rain and a shortened session. But then came that staggering final practice session on Saturday morning. Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time world champion in need of a resurgence himself, put in a lap time that was simply out of this world, in the words of team boss Toto Wolff. A scintillating 1:17.5 laid down a huge marker, with Hamilton's long-run pace prompting Wolff to describe it as stratospheric in its brilliance. Compare that to Max Verstappen on the same run later in the session, a 1:17.8. While the data suggests Hamilton just shaded it, what we don't know are the fuel loads. If the Brit could pull off those times with race levels of fuel, suddenly those stratospheric claims from Wolff don't seem so hyperbolic after all. You're no doubt wondering, what was behind this resurgence in Mercedes' pace? Well, it's centered around their new front-wing philosophy introduced in Monaco for George Russell, and now for both drivers in Canada. This new concept has helped cure the balance woes that have plagued the W15 all year, allowing Mercedes to finally unlock the potential in their car that they knew was there. As McLaren boss Andrea Stella admitted when studying the onboard footage, their front end looks very strong. They have the potential, and they're starting to learn how to use it. The front wing worked in tandem with other upgrades to find a better compromise between low and high-speed corner performance. No longer was the car a handful, unstable and unpredictable through long sweeped bends and chicanes. Finally, Hamilton and George Russell could start attacking curbs and pushing to the limit. When it came to qualifying, Russell took a brilliant pole position, a 1:12.0 dead heating with Max Verstappen, but earning the Briton P1 for setting the time first. It was Mercedes' first pole since Hungary 2022 and a landmark result after a barren run. Of course, while taking pole position was a landmark result, finishing third and fourth in the race itself was still somewhat disappointing for a team as desperate for victories as Mercedes. For all their progress, they left Canada having once again missed out on tasting champagne from the top step of the podium. But there was a palpable sense of optimism radiating from the Mercedes camp. A feeling that after spending the past 18 months wandering in the performance wilderness, they had finally found their way back onto the path towards the front of the grid. As Toto Wolff put it bluntly, "Since Imola, we've taken the right steps and put parts on the car that are working, something that we were struggling with in the past couple of years. Now we seem to be adding performance every weekend." You can expect that positive trajectory to continue at the Spanish Grand Prix and beyond. While Canada provided their first taste of the gains from the new front-wing concept, the updates won't stop there. Mercedes have a major new floor upgrade in the pipeline for Barcelona. This will be the next step in their bodywork revolution, another piece of the puzzle to maximize the awesome potential that appears to have been trapped within the W15's stubborn chassis all this time. Coupled with further weight reductions and refinements across the car's philosophy, it could well provide another major unlocking of lap time. If Mercedes can land this next batch of upgrades successfully, continuing the upward curve of their development rate, it sets up the tantalizing prospect of the Silver Arrows finally being able to unleash the full force of a package that has been over 18 months in the making. Rumours are swirling that the Italian marque has secured Newey's services in a 3-year contract brokered by his friend and manager, Eddie Jordan. If true, this blockbuster move could mark the beginning of a new era of dominance for the prancing horse. Just before we get into the video, we'd really appreciate it if you like, comment and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Anyways, let's get into the story. According to former colleagues like Mark Preston, who worked alongside Newey at McLaren, Ferrari emerges as the frontrunner to secure the services of this design maestro. The Italian team possesses several key elements that could entice Newey, forming what Preston calls all the pieces of the puzzle. At the heart of Ferrari's appeal lies a formidable engine program, one of the most potent and technologically advanced in the sport. But that's not all. They boast a roster of top-tier drivers, including the fiery Charles Leclerc and the addition of the indomitable Lewis Hamilton from 2025. A tantalizing prospect for any engineer seeking to push the boundaries of performance. Beyond the drivers and engine, Ferrari's allure for Newey extends to its substantial resources and a talented engineering team. Preston believes that with this combination, Ferrari has all the pieces of the puzzle to attract what some are saying is the most valuable person in the sport. Imagine the possibilities if Newey's genius were to marry top drivers, a strong engine program, the capable leadership of team principal Fred Vasseur, and a pool of talented engineers. This dream team would undoubtedly create a formidable force and a new challenge for Newey's next chapter. The potential partnership between Newey and Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari is generating significant buzz in the paddock. Former F1 driver Gerhard Berger, no stranger to the Scuderia's inner workings, predicts that this collaboration, coupled with the talents of Leclerc and Vasseur, could usher in a new era of dominance for the Italian team. Berger's words carry weight. As a 10-time Grand Prix winner himself, he understands the potent combination of outstanding drivers and cutting-edge engineering. With Newey's design prowess and Hamilton's skill behind the wheel, this quartet could create a juggernaut that would be formidable opponents for the rest of the grid. But what makes Adrian Newey so invaluable, so coveted by the biggest teams in Formula One? The answer lies in his ability to push the boundaries of aerodynamic design and innovation. Newey's cars are masterful examples of engineering brilliance, combining cutting-edge technology with a deep understanding of how to extract every ounce of performance from the regulations. His attention to detail is legendary, with every component meticulously designed to work in harmony, creating a well-oiled machine that dominates on the track. Newey's designs aren't just fast, they are marvels of efficiency, balancing power with precise handling and stability. It's this rare combination of technical genius and a relentless pursuit of perfection that has made him the most sought-after designer in Formula One history. As speculation surrounding Newey's next move intensifies, reports from sources claim that the legendary designer has already signed the lucrative 3-year deal worth a staggering $105 million with Ferrari. According to these reports, the deal was brokered by Newey's good friend and manager Eddie Jordan, as far back as April 29th, just 2 days before the announcement of Newey's departure from Red Bull. However, Jordan has denied these rumours, setting the record straight in no uncertain terms. As the rumour mill continues to churn, one thing's for sure. In a sport where everyone has an opinion and a penchant for speaking out of both sides of their mouth, silence is deafening. Newey's decision will undoubtedly have far-reaching consequences for the balance of power in Formula One. His unparalleled design expertise and a proven track record of delivering championship-winning cars could tilt the scales in favour of whichever team secures his services. The impact of Newey's genius combined with Ferrari's resources will be huge. Let's start with Sainz's other major option for 2025, Audi's factory team. The rebranded Sauber operation. Any works drive at a premium manufacturer like Audi would normally be a no-brainer for an elite driver like Sainz. Except there are mounting concerns that Audi's F1 project is floundering behind the scenes, even before they've turned a wheel in anger. Respected German publications have reported that Audi are miles behind developing their 2026 power unit to the level of benchmarks like Mercedes and Red Bull's units. There have been rumours of political turmoil within their boardroom too, with suggestions Audi's entry could even be scrapped amidst management changes. For a driver in Sainz's position, betting his career on an undercooked Audi project that may never fulfill its undoubted potential could prove to be a catastrophic mistake. This brings us to Williams' intriguing proposition to the Spaniard. We know from sources that the team, under the fresh leadership of James Vowles, have put a lucrative 4-year contract on the table for Sainz. But importantly, it contains a get-out clause allowing him to leave after just 2 seasons if Williams' revival doesn't go to plan. In essence, it's a gamble, but one with a crucial safeguard. Williams have high hopes of hitting the jackpot with F1's new technical regulations for 2026. And their ace card is a deal to receive the latest Mercedes power units, tipped to be the best in the field. We know all too well how the right engine at the right rules reset can transform a team's fortunes. Just look at 2014, when Williams went from scoring just 5 points using the outgoing Renault engines in 2013, to finishing third with over 300 points thanks to the new Mercedes hybrid units. With Toto Wolff's troops widely regarded as producing the most powerful and reliable engines over the past 2 decades, there's a growing feeling they'll ace these upcoming regulations too. If Williams can pair that punch with a decent chassis, thanks to the efforts of seasoned technical chief Pat Fry, who has revived the fortunes of multiple teams in the past, then a renaissance could well be on the cards at Grove. That's a tantalising prospect for Sainz, because while the first 2 years at Williams will undoubtedly be a struggle, a short-term sacrifice may allow him to seize the golden ticket back to the front of the grid when the 2026 overhaul shakes up the competitive order. His gamble would be striking at the precise moment Williams are ready to mount their comeback. You might be wondering why Sainz isn't seriously considering Mercedes for 2025, especially with Lewis Hamilton leaving. The simple answer is that Mercedes' priority appears to be signing Max Verstappen, and if that doesn't happen, they have 17-year-old Antonelli to fill the seat. At 29 years old, Sainz still craves a team built around his talents as the clear number 1. He was hesitant to commit long-term at Mercedes as an undisputed number 2 driver. With George Russell, or potentially Verstappen, set to lead their project, Mercedes are looking for a more malleable teammate who will subjugate their ambitions to the senior driver. For Sainz, that proposition holds little appeal at this stage of his career. He knows his next move has to put him in the best position to fight for a world championship. Joining Mercedes only to play second fiddle doesn't align with that goal. And let's not forget the value for Sainz of being truly unshackled on the driver market. Signing that mega money Audi deal over multiple years would leave him with little room to maneuver if, as expected, that whole operation hits teething issues early on. With Williams, he can keep his options open, ready to pounce on any surprise opportunities that may suddenly present themselves when the championship landscape evolves. What a wild period it's been in Formula One. From shocking comebacks to first-lap chaos, these past few races have kept us on the edge of our seats. The championship battles are heating up, but we've also seen major intra-team rivalries emerge that could boil over in the second half. There's so much left to be decided. Who will claim those crucial podiums? Who will end up where? And can anyone stop Verstappen's dominance? The 2024 season is shaping up to be an exciting one. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more F1 updates.